Starting, and this hangout is live. Yo, welcome to Beat People Podcast. I think this is episode 15, right? Yeah, well, that's what I'm calling it, regardless if it is or not. So yo, this is the first podcast of 2017. I got to get used to saying 2017, even though in this show we're gonna go through some of the highlights of gear for 2016. And not that we all discussed all of this, but I figure we all got some picks and some favorites. And I may need some help figuring out what was 2016 versus 2015, because there's a couple of pieces I'm not sure about. But yeah, episode 15. Let's go through and introduce the panelists. I think my man Upright is going to join at some point. But first up, we got Ken. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? I'm still trying to get over a cough that I've had for like 6 or 7 weeks now. It's crazy, man. I should probably see a doctor, but instead I'm trying to use a new technique of curing myself through very loud kick drums.
How is that working out for you?
I don't know, but my head hurts. So I've been doing I'm working on some new sound packs. So I've been recording a lot of kick drums, like a lot of analog stuff, like weird analog kick drums, I guess you could call it. And, it's not just going to be kicks, but like that's what I'm focusing on right now. Trying to get the biggest booming kick sounds and that kind of thing. So
well, you know what I just did this morning? Speaking of that, I actually this morning when I got up, I sampled a lot of, I think it was something like 44 to 50, maybe about 50 different variations of sounds from the drum brute. And so now that I got those sampled, I'm gonna do some creative effects and run them through a couple things and see if I can mess them all up and create a new sample pack from them.
I did, yeah. I was kind of one of the first things I did when I got my drum brute was obviously I was playing with the sequencer and having fun with that, which it's an awesome sequencer, super fun. But it got me kind of wanting to recreate. This is the nerdy stuff that I do, man. So I wanted to recreate all those drum circuits of the drum brute using other analog gear that I have.
Dope.
Like
That's
try to
crazy,
get it as close and exact as I could, you know, just for no reason at all, man, just because I do that kind of stuff. So I recreated the same sounds in my Tempest. I recreated a bunch using my modular. I recreated a bunch using the Matrix brute, and then I recorded them also. And then I'm doing some weird layering with them and that kind of thing. Just messing around.
Well, I can't wait to hear those, yo. So let's keep it moving down the line. Who we got next? Stony. What's up, Stony? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Beat People, thanks for having me as usual.
No doubt.
You already know.
Fam. What you got going on? What you working on? Well,
I mean, 2017, new things. I project for it to be an incredible year for all of us.
Word.
Finally, I'm going to announce a special launch next week. Finally got things done. And I'm working on the Pyramind mentorship program that we should talk about.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Like go more into detail about that. And, you know, again, the completion of my album. I know 2017 is the year for for new music to just be released, just putting out tons of music, releasing tons of content. And, you know, with the announcement I'm going to make next week with the launch of everything that I'm projecting to put out, everything will be in one place now and people could interact with me and work with me. And it's going to be really dope.
Word.
It's going to be really dope. And I look forward to all the Beat People podcasts throughout the year and all the cool things we're going to be talking about and bringing to this community, the production community.
That's
and I want to talk about in this podcast also is I want to touch a little bit on what Ken just said about having his drum brute and then being able to go into his mods, you know, his modular setup and recreate those sounds. You know what I'm saying? Like lately, I've been noticing a couple of people putting up some really awesome posts talking about the difference between sound design and just grabbing a bunch of drum and putting them in a pack and labeling it sound design. You know what I mean?
Word.
I think I'd like to hear you guys
sound thing.
Sound design, right? I'd like to hear you guys, especially Ken. I'd like to hear you guys' opinion about you know, what you think about that. I think Justin Myrax had an amazing post that he put up this week. And I was just like, oh, the brother, he really nailed it. And I think that conversation needs to, you know, go on more and more. We should discuss a little bit of that today.
Word. Well, I'm with that. Let's circle back around to that and the Pyramind thing, and let's introduce our other panelists here. Will, what's going on, brother?
Man, it's been a long time, man.
Yeah, it's been a long time, man. You need to come back home sometime. What my man said, you need to come over to grandma's crib, get a plate, fool.
Man, hey, you know, I've been doing a lot of stuff with the kids. My son's been playing football. I've been coaching, so that's pretty much taking up a lot of my time. Just had a kid a month ago, so had a fourth kid, third son. Taking up a lot of time. I've been doing a lot of sound design. In the middle of that, I had Red Synergy come out 2 months ago, which is a nice Kontakt program. I'm in the middle of working on Blue Synergy, which is going to be featuring a whole lot of pad and strings and like just atmospheric sounds created off the modular over here. I got a ton of VCOs, digital VCOs that I'm running through, all kind of filters, and I think it's gonna be like 11 filters I got in my system now. So
that's dope.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of different things.
Balling.
Yeah,
I'm still after one more though. That Morpheus from Rossum. I gotta have that. That's gonna be
kind of nice. Morpheus Evolution. I kind of like the Evolution joint. I really want to check that out.
Hey, you know, I was really thinking about grabbing that one too, but my credit card said no.
Keep hitting it till it say yes.
Hey, I'm working on it. It'll get there.
Word.
But nah, other than that, I've just been, you know, every time I'm in my little work area, I'm either working on programming for Kontakt or sound designing for Kontakt. So I'm working.
So actually, let's go ahead and jump into that though. Let's get into this this sound design discussion, because you know we all are fam, and there's a lot of this. This is a sprawling network of fam. You know what I mean? So a lot of us are sound designers and have our own products and different things. And I know that, you know, sometimes piracy is a problem, and piracy doesn't always come in the form that we think it comes in, right? You think piracy, you think some dark side of the internet where somebody's offering up all of our products to say like, yo, download this latest pack from so-and-so or so-and-so. But it also comes in the form of people, you know, found designing.
I like that.
where they take sounds from sample packs and repackage them as a kit that they've created, where it may be just like a greatest hits of a bunch of kits that's out there, and repackage them.
Now, you know, now you know what's funny for me, Core, is that looking on the outside, being from a producer's perspective, because you know, to claim that you're a sound designer and can't create sounds from scratch and understand how this patch is put together, how this is made. There's so many of you guys who really understand the art of sound design, and we get it confused because, you know, as a producer, I get a drum kit. Of course, I'm going to manipulate the drum kit and make it my own. Did I sound design? Did I create that kick and snare? No. I made a sound.
That's the thing, though. That's a part of production, right? Because before I started really, truly sound designing, what I would do is I'd have a bunch of kits, and I may have a certain kind of chain of effects that I like to use on my kits that make them punch, but that don't mean they're my kits. Like that's just kind of my stash.
Exactly. And then for me, you know, I'm looking at it like, okay, well, I have a drum kit. I design it the way I think it works for my track. You know what I'm saying? But then now when you start getting into, you know, cats taking that and saying, hey, this is my kit or this is my sound design. I mean, when you open up Massive and you can create a kick, or you open up, you know, the modular system and you can actually create those sounds from scratch, you know, to me, that's sound design. That's sound design, you know, going out into the field with a microphone and grabbing different sounds and then coming back and creating new textures and things like that, you know. And it feels very saturated right now. It feels like everybody, okay, because they're a producer and they make beats, they're like, well, I got a drum kit you wouldn't want to buy. Buy my drum kit. And I'm just like, really? Like, it just feels very saturated.
I try not to get angry or judgmental about that kind of stuff, just because in truth, that's how I started. Now, granted, I started doing that well before it was commonplace. I started doing it back in like late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. And it started organically, which is another big difference is with the advent of YouTube and just being able to show people what you're doing and the openness of showing what you're doing now. Anytime someone sees a revenue stream, it's going to become bastardized and capitalized on, which you know, whether or not that's right is up for debate. But really, as long as you're trying to create quality work, then that's really the bottom line. Like, you know, as long as you're not doing it just to rip somebody off and get money, you know, if you're actually like, if your heart's in it, and, you know, whether you have a lot of skill and knowledge or whether you're just starting out, you know, I think the jump off point is always what the passion is and what the you know, what the mindset behind it is, you know, because when I first started out, it was a lot of me just taking a little voice recorder. Like literally I had like the really cheap voice recorder stuff and was like banging on trash cans and whatever, just to put in my MPC for beats that I was creating for myself. People like those sounds that I had in my drums, and they were like, what record did you get that from? And I'd be like, I didn't get it from a record, you know? And then it kind of went from there. And that started off with very little knowledge. You know, now I know, you know, 100 times what I used to know, but that didn't make it any less valid for me to be selling the sounds that I was creating then. You know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, there's a maturity to it, right? So you definitely mature to it. And let's be honest. I mean, hip hop is kind of founded on Marley Marl. It's kind of credited as the first person to sample a single one shot into the I don't know which machine he was using at that point, but whatever machine he was using. And then, you know, he said he would go to the clubs and he knew what drums really had an effect. So rather than sample the breaks, which he probably did too, then he would just sample the snare or the kick or the hat or the clap. And then all those kind of things became common knowledge, like, yo, I will get that impeach the president snare and do this, that, and the other.
See, now what you're talking about the art of sampling. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about the art of sampling and designing and shaping. Cats are literally taking drum kits from other kits. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not even being creative with it. Like, let me get this kit and just make this kit my kit. You know, it's like, what?
They don't even change the wave file name or nothing. They just, here you go, right there. It's just right there.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, is like, you know, there is a difference between somebody who's you know, just taking, you know, a sound that they sampled off a record or even got from another sound pack or whatever, and then adding some reverb and EQ versus somebody who's legitimately trying to create something new. Like, how many times do you buy a sample pack and then go through it and then you're like, damn, I know I have these sounds, and like you open up like Big Fish's Smoking Jazz and you're like, oh yeah, that's where that came from like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's, you know, on that level, that stuff to me is wrong. And the people who do it, you know, some of them don't even realize how silly they're being. But, you know, that's, you can't bother wasting time even thinking about that stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like, am I going to bother about, you know, worrying about how many people are torrenting my sample packs and stuff? I can't worry about it. You know what I mean? I just got
now here's the thing,
you'll
Ken.
lose time with that.
It's cool. It's cool if you're gonna make a product that is incredible. But if the product is not incredible, you're like, what are you doing? You know, so now you got this onslaught of tons of expansions and all these drum kits and things, and you don't know which ones are great and which ones aren't.
Yeah.
Now that you know, there was a time when okay, so and so's putting out his kits. You know, you're gonna get some quality shit. You know what I mean? Now it's like, is this is this a legit, product? Is that a legit product? You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to now kind of, it's a guessing game now, we know the top 5. We know the guys that are doing great.
And I think that's
really
that. What it comes down to. People, it's just like other products. You come to a point where you know the names and brands you can trust. And then for the newer names and brands, it's a hard, rise. You know what I mean? You got to gain the trust of, the consumer. And I think they know the difference. And this is why they'll go to the same, top 4 or 5 different sample pack sales joints and stores and stuff. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Word. Hey, Willie, hold on. I want to show what you was talking about. You was talking about red synergy. And I want to show it because I want people to check it out because it's a dope product. My man Willie spent like 18 years. He not only did the sound design, which we're talking about, but he also did the coding. He did the design for the interface.
This is dope.
Yeah. And there's just so much that what didn't you do? You did every single thing for this thing.
Yeah, I did all the graphics, the coding behind it, the sound design. So yeah, it's a self-contained me product.
Word, that's what's up. And I got to commend you on that, bro, just because you took the time. How long have you been knowing how to code this stuff?
About a year.
About a year. So you took the time out. I think you just said you got 4 kids. Yeah. One of them is new, so that still counts though, because that means during that time your wife was pregnant. So I'm saying you got 4 kids
now, let me ask,
and a wife.
Can I ask this question, Corey, real quick? When I've heard a lot of sound designers use the word coding and all that stuff, can Willie explain in detail for people who are watching what that actually means?
Basically, like Kontakt has its own language, and it's sort of like talking in Spanish when you're English major, so it's something like it, it's really complicated because if you don't hold on, I can pull it up. It's easier for me to show it than for me to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. Yeah, because actually I don't know anything about that Kontakt programming, and I don't. There's a couple things I would like to learn, but I ain't got no time.
I just think it's really cool so that when cats purchase these expansions, they understand how much work was put into these different sound kits.
Word. Okay, we got you on screen there, Willie.
All right, is it working?
Yep, I see it.
Okay. So basically, if you wanted a knob to control the filter right here, then on the back end, what you would do is say when the knob moves, then it's supposed to use set this parameter right here, and then if you want the scripting for the knob, hold up, I'm just scroll way up here.
See, all I see is girl in red dress.
So if
I'm such a nerd.
The knob, you gotta, in order to make the knob appear, it's just like this is one line of code, then the height and the width, and then the picture for it, then what it's controlling. And so basically you got to tell Kontakt what picture you want to display, how you want it to move, and then what you want it to control while the person is moving it. And once you get all of that in, then you do it for the next knob. And I think it has something like 30 knobs on it. And then that's not even counting the arpeggiator. Arpeggiator code is just absolutely ridiculous. Hold up, that's the Blue Synergy code.
So here's the thing. The thing about all this coding is that what people don't realize is that when you got a program like that, all those knobs is basically like a piece of a program that's dictating what you can and can't do with it.
Exactly.
And it don't do nothing unless Willie has told it all these lines of code that it needs to do, all these different parameters that it needs to know in order to make these synth sounds. So the thing is, actually, I gotta commend my bro on the fact that, you know, he set up and he learned the code, then he wrote all the code, and then he designed the interface, or he designed the interface. I don't know what order it goes in, but designing the interface. And I remember the different iterations of the interface. And I'm gonna add an arpeggiator now, or I'm gonna add this thing now, I'm gonna add that thing now. And he's steady coding and building on this stuff. And
are you self-taught, Willie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to. It's a really good site called VI Control, I believe. That shout out to them. Everybody that's on there, actually.
Oh, Will kicked himself off.
I think he accidentally closed a window that he shouldn't have.
That's classic.
Well, that was Will.
Well, I could tell you. Well, here he is coming back. Right now. There he is.
My bad. Hold up. Let me see. I thought I was on the other browser page.
Oh, it's all good. So yeah, the other thing is, okay, so you think, okay, he did graphic design. So he did the graphic design for that. Then he did the coding for that, but then he did the sound design for it. So all the sounds you see, Will, like, how wide is your modular? It's like a damn freeway. It's like 20 lanes across and all these different modules. So the man has dedicated a lot of time to putting together this red synergy, from the coding to the graphic design to the sound design. And if you haven't checked it out, you got to check it out, because it's a real dope synth. Quite frankly, like when I pulled it up, I expected it to be good, but what I was tripping on was like, wow, this is like real good. And he did it all himself. So
and on top of that,
to you for that,
the source material for these plugins, because this is also the same as stuff that I've worked on and with, is you know, all the source material for the samples that originally go into these synths are all coming from really quality sources. And then there's sound design involved on that side of the game as well. So for that, for instance, like Blue Synergy and Red Synergy, like they're multi-sampled instruments, but before you even get to that stage, there's sound design that goes into the samples that go into that. So I think people take for granted the process that goes into creating these instruments sometimes, you know?
Oh,
yeah, the sheer patching and thought process of how you're making your equipment sound, like how you're patching your equipment to get those sounds, and then after that you're multi-sampling them through all these different filters and stuff to get that flavor. So yeah, hats off, because I know Ken and you do a lot of that too. So hats off, man. That's the real work. So to the people that check this show out, whether it's today or whether it's, you know, next year, whenever, because it's going to live on the internet, you know, pay for the software you use, because it's a lot of work that goes into getting it done. Certainly, especially when it comes to independent cats, when you don't see, I mean, it's a lot of work that goes into it regardless, but just imagine when you're talking about a family man that's independent and putting in this work in his studio or basement or something to get this stuff done. Don't bootleg that. Don't share that. Tell your people it's $59. Imagine all the work you did for $59. That's just you giving a donation, like PBS donation for the year's programming. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, support cats, especially the independent cats that's doing it, because we do it for you. It's for the community. That's what's up.
Yeah. It took a long time, man. I'm like 2 hours of sleep a day.
Oh, that's dangerous.
I also got a regular job, so you know, hey, people forget about that part. That, like, kids, a lot of us,
and kids. Willie has all the kids.
All the kids. Willie got all the kids.
Hey,
Willie hasn't figured out that it's legal to stop having kids.
Look, I know you ain't talking, Ken.
Listen, man.
I know you ain't talking.
I'm done.
Hey.
I'm done. I had 3 and I'm out.
I hit my level.
Willie's like over there trying to create a whole football team.
Hey, you know, one more. I got a basketball squad.
That's what you shooting for, Willie? It's crazy, bro.
Hey.
Yeah, man. So, hey, Corey, real
What's
quick,
up?
I wanted to ask you a question about the stands that you have in your studio, just because we were kind of talking before the show about stands, and you got so you have the stand on top of your Rhodes right now that holds your Moog, right? And then you also got a 3-tier stand. But what's that little piece that hangs off the side of the 73?
Oh man, that's a piece of crap.
I'm just wondering because we all kind of do like,
yeah, that's dope. Yeah,
we all do different little like tweaks to things and little DIY things. I was just wondering what you had going on over there.
Yeah.
And
so
what are those pedals? Are those pedals on that core?
Yeah, those are pedals. So let's see if you can still hear me. Yeah, I got like 4 pedals there. I got a phaser. I have
the RE20.
Yeah, I got the RE10 Space Echo. Then I got this Pulsar, and then I have a chorus, analog chorus, MXR chorus. So those are just my effects pedals, and that's all usually being used with my Rhodes. And so what I did here is I have a stand from Ken Rich Sounds. He makes stands for people that have these vintage pianos like the Wurlitz or like mine's the Fender Rhodes 73, and it has a rounded top, so nothing sits flat on it, right? So some of the later models came with a flat top, but nothing sits flat.
I got a flat top on mine.
Right, mine's is a little rounded because it's like a 71 or 72 the year was made. So what I did is I kind of jerry-rigged a little situation, right? So I'm using his stand. I'll point to it. This is like 2 brackets here and here. And what they do is they sit on top of the Rhodes and give you like a stand that you can, a flat surface that you can sit your next keyboard on, right? So that's what the Voyager sits on. But then what I did is, because there's a little space between the stand that the Voyager sits on and the rounded top of the Rhodes, I took a black shelf that's about as long as the Rhodes, and I slid it between the stand and the Rhodes. So the weight of the Voyager is holding it in place, and I slid it out about a foot, and that gives me a ledge to put my effects on.
Okay, see, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, we all got little like DIY solutions, because I swear it doesn't matter how much money you have. Every studio that I've ever been in has some kind of DIY desk of some sort. In some way, shape, or form. You know.
Oh, bro, listen. This is the only thing that I've like bought that's like, that is what it is. That 3-tier stand right here, this ultimate support stand. So it's dope. The ultimate support stand, it's a 3-tier joint, 2-tier typically, but they don't advertise it as a 3. So I bought an extra tier to put on it, and it's holding right now the Montage 6, the Prophet 6, and the DeepMind 12, right? Montage 6 won't be here much longer, so I'll be doing something with that probably. I don't know, but back to the DIY stuff. Let's see if you could see this. All right, so you can see this. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is from my old little desk. If you look on my Instagram, I think about a month ago, I put a picture up of my old studio, and this was the width of the desk right here. And all I had was all I had then was an MPC and a keyboard and my computer, and it worked out well. And it had some rack space above it. So now I have this IKEA. What do they call these shelves that everybody used to put their records on and stuff?
yeah, I know what you're talking
is it
about.
the Calyx?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I know they discontinued and brought a new one. Yeah, that's the newer one. So I have that, but it wasn't wide enough because it's more like a bookshelf. So I still had this old desk taken apart in the garage, and it's about, I don't know, maybe about 30 inches deep. So I took the top off of that and put it on top of this this Calyx bookshelf, and then just threw a old Kenta cloth type thing, mud cloth on top of it. So now that's my my modular and drum machine rack.
The same thing, man. Like my DJ setup is, I took one of their desktops and then I put it on top of a Calyx. What is it? The 2 by what is this thing? 2x4 of the Calyx that's filled with records, and then my DJ setup goes on top of that, and then like the modular stand and everything is it's basically like a Staples desk that I cut up and changed around a bit so that I have a tray for my Prophet underneath of it.
Word.
Yeah, like it's all DIY stuff, man. And I use a Calyx behind me too, like where like my MS-20 and all that stuff is.
Yeah,
So,
you got to do that, man. It's like, because you know, you have such a specific way of working within your own lab, right? And it seems like nothing is ever where it needs to be until you actually put some elbow grease into it and say, I'm gonna make this be here.
and I do have one nice, like, actual dedicated studio desk. I have the Zoar ZOAR studio desk. It's called the Yesk, and it's really nice, man. Like, it's built so well, and I'm actually I'm probably going to be moving in the next few months, and when I do, it's going to be interesting to take it apart and put it back together, because it looks like it comes apart pretty easy and should be able to go back together pretty easy. But it's built really solid, and it's got rack mounts in it and everything, which is cool. So
nah,
Word.
I don't spend money on studio furniture. I'm sorry. I built my whole desk for $50. If it ain't modular or geared, I don't spend money on it, man.
Well, after having a studio desk that had like a huge warp and bend in it for about like 3 or 4 years straight, finally I was like, yo, it's time to have a nicer desk.
I feel you, man. But hey, I got a nice little solid piece of wood right here.
There it is.
I went and bought a little bit more wood and put a whole desk together.
my man, like, I got some wood, some more wood, a little more wood, and there it is.
Screws.
Some screws.
And some screws. Hey, I put that bad. It ain't bending. It ain't flexing. It hold everything together. We good.
Word up. Word up. So, hey, I wanna get into with Stony. Stony, let's talk about your the Pyramind deal.
Okay.
So we wanted to talk about that last time, but the show cut off. That was a crazy show. The last show, it was the last show of the year, and we came on. We were in the middle of a conversation, and then we got cut off about an hour later. So it's kind of like if you got OCD, maybe that last episode ain't the one you want to see, because you're gonna be like, "What was y'all talking about at first?" Because we just came on talking, and we left off talking about something. We never really truly opened the show and closed the show. So one of the things we want to talk about was this Puremind mentorship program. Why don't you tell us a little more about it, Stone?
I mean, the Pyramind mentorship program, it's a dope concept and a dope idea. So basically, most of the people, first of all, you got to be like invited to be a part of it. So, they've gone around and they've seen who are the best of the best and whatever it is that they do in terms of production. And the guy who put it together, he pretty much, said, okay, I have this idea. Outside of it being like, he didn't want it to be something like, hey, come learn some production classes. You know what I mean? Come learn, because there's all these online schools, and people go to school to learn how to make beats and production. That's a big thing right now. But a lot of people were, and I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to like discredit any school or anything like that, but a lot of people were going to different schools, and then they would spend all this money, thousands of dollars to learn production, and would come out and wouldn't know what a VST was. Wouldn't know what like very basic things were. You know what I mean? So the Puremind mentorship program is more like mentorship thing. So if someone came and booked me to be a mentor for them, I'm not just sitting there showing them, hi, welcome to the mentorship, you're gonna learn machine. No, it's not like that. It's more like, what is it you're trying to do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And hold on, let me send you this link also so that
I think you
can share it.
Here you go. Is this it, right? Puremind mentorship.
No, I'm gonna show you another link also.
Okay, cool.
So that
put it in the chat so I could get it from there. So basically, it's kind of like, or what it says is a Puremind mentorship
So basically,
network, one-on-one expert music production, tutoring, and guidance, right?
Right, tutoring in that way. But what's happening is, like, if you booked a session with me, we would talk, we would have conversations, we would build, we would create something that is customized for you and you only. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I would do workshops and I would cover general things when I was doing workshops. But now with the mentorship, I can sit with someone and we could have a 2-hour conversation, and you'll learn more in that 2-hour conversation than you would have learned taking a flight, coming all the way to a workshop, sitting there, paying for hotels, doing all this stuff to sit in a room with me with 200-300 people. You know what I'm saying? Now you could actually be in your studio and then still have me come and be online with you and talk and discuss, and discuss music and different things like that. And if you notice the page that you're looking at right now, that's my personal booking page. So if you go to the page, you'll see like I have something like a 1 hour, and in that 1 hour, we could discuss general making beats, production. You have people that just need to understand what it is they're doing. Like I met with a guy one time and he kept saying, well, my boy told me I need contact battery, this, that, and the third, and it wasn't quite right. So sometimes you need someone who's professional and has done this long enough that they can say to you, you know what, this is what you actually need. And you don't have to spend all this money and try to get this thing, this piece, that piece. We're not trying to sell people anything. We're trying to show people how to use whatever it is they have already and become great at it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, for me, I'm going to be focusing on the things that I love using and having fun with. I'm showing people Reason, Ableton Live, all the native instrument stuff, all the tractor stuff, and then all the MPC stuff, and then general music production as well, to talk about, the things we talk about on the show. But then you're coming to speak to someone one-on-one. And then the cool thing about the Puremind mentorship, you have people that are studying voice. There's someone that's mentoring for voice. There's someone that's going to talk about branding. There's someone there talking about if you want to build your website and music, what do you do? So they've gotten the best of all these different, parts of the music industry and production into this one mentorship. And then the pricing is fantastic. And then we're doing it because we're having fun doing it. And so there are people that are going to come and book a session with me, and we're going to wind up working together. We're going to wind up making music together, because after a while you start meeting these people, you're talking, you're laughing. It's not like a stuffy classroom and you're just like, oh my God, what is all this technical jargon that I don't understand? So that's pretty much the mentorship. And it's funny, it's good for me too as the mentor, because on my Instagram page, I used to get like tons of people hitting me up, yo, Stony, I want to learn how to use Machine. I want to learn how to use Ableton. I want to learn how to use all this stuff. Now, when I send them the link to Pyramind to book a session with me, that cuts out all the fluff. Cuts out all the people who are not so serious. You know what I'm saying? And if they're serious, they book me, and then they stay booking consistently. And, I have one guy right now, we started doing a session. He didn't know anything about Ableton, nothing about the push. And dude is making tracks right now. Like, he's actually making good music. And I mean, for me, the joy is to watch somebody just like not know like he didn't know anything. And then he gets it, and then he's happy, and he's making dope music. So, what's going to happen? We're going to work on music together at some point, and then if I'm somewhere and there's an opportunity, I can say, yo, I got a cat. He's real ill. And it just opens up the community.
That's true.
It becomes a community thing. And then all the mentors are like people like myself who've been in the business for a while and have trained amazing people and are connected with professionals and still connected with up and coming cats who've done nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think it's just a different way of connecting with people, finding out what they really need and want, and just providing just that thing they need. You know what I mean?
That's what.
So I mean, if anybody's watching this and they wanna find out more about it, hit me up. And that's the link right there at Puremind. And Yeah, and consistency too. You know, some people might just need one session with me to figure something out, and then there are people who actually need someone that can walk them through understanding the language of production and technology. You know, you get a piece of gear, you read the manual, but you don't really quite understand what those things mean. It's deeper than just, okay, that says truncate. Like, what does that actually mean? You know what I mean? So we are shaping and teaching people all those things. So, and we've got guys who music theory and I mean everything. You know what we talk about here, modular systems. Okay, so someone wants to really get deep into that and find out what to buy, how to buy it. They would book a session with you and they'd go, "Hey, Corey, we're going to sit for 2 hours and we're going to talk." So you're getting compensated for your time because now you're not sitting for 2 hours. It takes, you do that with 5 people, your whole day is shot. You know what I mean?
That's no doubt. Yep. That's real.
Yeah, and it's cool because you know you're teaching people. I'm learning also, but the one thing I've learned the most is that having this platform and having that link to be able to provide to people, it just eliminates all the fluff and the nonsense. And so now when I'm working with someone, I know that they're serious. They're not wasting my time.
Yeah, that makes sense because they it's like put up a shut up. They put the money where your mouth is at that point. And
I'm telling you, if I could have shown you my inbox, it was insane. Like it was tons of people. Please, Stony, show me this, and I'm just like, okay, well, what do you think? I mean, we have to invest in ourselves. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, cats don't realize how much time it took for us to put into our craft to become who we are and know what we know, and to just give that for free is like, it's not about the information. It's actually about your time that you're giving, because the information is priceless.
Yeah.
Price to that information. You can't really say, okay, this is how much it costs to get knowledge of that. There's really no price. So what you're really doing is compensating the person for their time, putting it into you and building with you. You know what I'm saying?
Because time is money. I mean, you think about it. Like, all of us have families. And, you know,
absolutely. I'm a mom. You know, I know
responsibilities, and so to take that time, I think honestly, that's just a kind of like a courtesy. That if you want information and you want some help, and you know it's going to help, you know, compensate the person.
And so,
for their time.
So what we're going to do next with the Puremind. So I have people that book me one-on-one, right, and they get to speak to me on a personal level. But then we're about to go into another phase. And I'm going to actually be doing, and this is, it's a great thing because, like I said, flights cost money, hotels cost money. You know, being out of your home for a week to go to a workshop or seminar costs money. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the opportunity for like 10 people to sit in a room with me.
Nice.
And, you know, and book a chair for a fraction of the price that they would have with me one-on-one, and everybody can sit with me and we can actually do a full workshop, you know, and I'm doing all this stuff online, you know, and I think that's the new wave, because even, you know, Dead Mouse has, you know, masterclass, and then you got Shonda Rhimes is doing masterclass. So you've got people, and then the cooking masterclasses, and everybody's getting into it because everybody can't afford to go and be in person one-on-one with a person, you know? So yeah, this is, I think it's fantastic that I could sit down and give someone individual time, and now doing the workshop thing that we're about to launch. It's going to be nuts.
That's dope.
It's pretty cool because like a while back, St. Joe, Knox Squared, and myself, we did the creative live thing, and it was
that was fantastic. I love that.
We did a 3-day event like that, and we had people, like, we had live audience there. So, you know,
right.
But it's kind of like being able to do that with everybody all across the world, you know, at any time during the month or whatever, and you can book it up yourself. So it's like having your own personal, like that course right there that we did was $100, and that's like a set course that is there. You know what I mean? Right. This is something that, you know, and you know, people that come and buy the course now is a good course, but you can't go and ask new questions. You know what I mean? This is something where, you know, that's really dope. I like that a lot, you know?
And then the cool thing about it, Ken, is the cool thing about it, Ken, I've got people from Paris and Japan and Australia reaching out to me who they don't know me. They don't know that I was a product specialist at Native, and they never came to a workshop. They just want to learn, and they're so cool. And these people are super talented, and the things they wanted to know are just really small things that, man, I mean, and the things they didn't know that we take for granted.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow, these are basic things that are not on YouTube. They're not on, you know, there's things that when you start digging deep, they go, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
There's a lot of things about music production and sound design and just our whole world in general that it's really easy to take for granted. And if you didn't come up in that world, that you're not going to know. Right. And some people are even just embarrassed to ask certain things. You know what I mean?
I agree. I mean, for me, the best part about it is, I mean, my background is recording engineering. I've worked at Sony Studios. I've worked at Hit Factory. I've worked at all the studios in New York. A lot of people know me for, oh, you know, she was the product specialist for Native Instruments and she knows machine really well. But this program now allows me to teach people about acoustics, you know, about setting up their monitors, about engineering, you know, technical things. Like people are like, oh, what VST should I get? But I'm just like, okay, well, what is your room like? What are you monitoring with? What are you listening back to? What, you know, helping people in production all together. So for me, I get to use all those skills that I have and actually share them instead of like, okay, let me show somebody machine again. You know what I'm saying? Let's sequence a beat. This is so much deeper than just making beats. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it's fantastic. I think the program is going to grow exponentially. And yeah, again, the pricing is fantastic. And there's just so much stuff that we can share in terms of like conversation. You're in a room with someone and then you're in the comfort of your home. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah. And everybody
so here's the thing that Stony, you know what you should do? You should put that link, if you haven't already, obviously, as like your contact link, at least for like a few days on your Instagram. So, you know, yeah, so people could go to your Instagram and just click on that link and book you.
I mean, they can go to my YouTube page. I have my YouTube page up now. So it's Stony's Music, Stonis, Music, MUSIC, Stony's Music. That's my YouTube page. And you know, you can get the information there. Also follow me on Twitter. If you go to Twitter, you'll see like my Twitter page is where I'm gonna have a link, and then I also put a link in the Instagram as well, the booking page, and that way you could just go in and see exactly. I'll do it right now. It's on my Instagram, and it's Stony's Music on the Instagram as well.
Word. So yeah, so y'all can go there and actually. Do
you have any questions about it?
Well, yeah, actually, I mean, so is it like the person just kind of pays, or the person chooses an hour block? Can they choose more than an hour block, or what's the parameters on that kind of thing?
Absolutely. So what they do is they go to your booking page and it says service, choose your service. So they have something called an hour. The open hour is literally an open hour. You come in, we talk for an hour. We figure out what it is you want. What's your trajectory? What is it you want to learn? Why do you want to learn it? What is the end goal? And what I usually do with people, I say to them, well, what do you want to see happen in what time frame? You know, like I have a guy right now, by March, he wants to be able to record his artists and produce his things and his stuff independently. So I'm getting him up to speed so that he can actually make his tracks, record his artists, and have a finished product. So we are taking the steps necessary. And I don't let him overbook me. I tell him, look, I don't need you to book me 3 times a week, because you gotta like, you gotta
have time to practice.
You gotta retain that information, right? So I don't go ham like, yo, book me. Like, no, I make sure that he's not taking in too much information. So by March, he should be at the place he needs to be. And then there's these other things that I have here, like general music productions, a general hour where we're just talking about music. Somebody might want me to listen to their tracks, and I'm like, okay, well, let's sit down and discuss what you're trying to do, what you want me to hear, what is it you're trying to get out of this particular track. You know, sound design and sampling is pretty much, you know, everything, like Ableton and Reason. And we'll sit down. I have an hour class with Ableton where we sit down and we just chop up samples. or we might record samples live through a microphone, or we might, you know, grab a sample from a turntable or something, and I'll show them how to do that. There's an hour for that, 2 hour. I show that in Reason. I show that in Machine. I show that in Pro Tools. I show that in any, whatever platform they want.
What does the person have to have, Stony? Do they just got to have a webcam and a mic?
So basically what Puremind does is when you book it, it's really dope. They send you an email, and in the email they give you a zip file. In the zip file, you have to have Google Hangouts. You have to have this thing called Ladiocast, and it pretty much allows me to hear their DAW, and they can hear my DAW, and there's a full like description on how to set up your computer and everything. So by the time, and then it's like a 72-hour booking. So if somebody wanted to meet with me, they have 72 hours to get themselves together, to get themselves set up, you know. And like if you book me for Ableton, we can't talk about Machine. Like we have to stay focused on exactly what you want to book, what you want to talk about. And yeah, it's the way they have it is fantastic, and everything is scheduled accordingly. And it's scheduled based on all over the world. So I might do a session at 11 p.m. in New York, and it's 9 in the morning somewhere else. Like it keeps people who are working 9 to 5s in another part of the world could still have access, and if not access to me, there are other mentors. There are other cats out there that are dope, that are doing different things. I might be showing hip hop stuff, or, you know, urban music or something. Somebody else might be showing how to compose classical music.
Word.
You know, so this is not like genre specific. This is really about production all across the board. So yeah, there's a document that anybody who books, they get that document. You have 72 hours. They explain the program, and you know, you meet with your mentor, and it's like hanging out. Honestly, it's like hanging out.
Pretty brilliant, actually. I love that. That's pretty dope. I mean, you even got somebody in the thing right now. My man's like, yo, I know synths inside and out. I got 3,000 records. I had never gotten that sampling workflow down with Machine MK2. So I mean, like, that's the thing. Those it can work for everybody.
He needs to absolutely book with me. And the reason why I say book with me, and I'm not eating my own cookie, but I've worked for Native Instruments. You know, I've gotten the opportunity to travel and train all these A-list producers, see all their different workflows. So there's a lot of workflows that I have in my head that I can help people adapt, and then help them create their own flows. Like a lot of cats come to me and say, I want my workflow like yours. By the time I'm done, they've got their own flow. They got their own flow. And the cool thing is I'm showing them how to take a machine and use the factory sounds, take the stock sounds that come with. You don't need to go and buy third-party plugins. You don't need to have all this expensive stuff. I'm showing everybody how to use.
Oh, cut you, Masada. No, you cannot book with Stony.
No.
Masada wants to book with Stony.
Stony, don't be telling people not to buy stuff. Let's know. No.
No.
As sound designers, we hate to hear that.
That's right.
No, well, okay, but see, the whole idea is if I teach them the way that I'm doing it, they're gonna know how to use your packs.
Okay, I agree with that. All right,
right? Like
that sounds good.
If they can't operate their software or their hardware, when they buy your pack, all they're gonna do is go, well, how do I use this thing? It sounds cool, but what am I doing with it?
Okay, all right, I got you.
It's one of those things where you're expanding your customer base, really. So organically at that, you know, it's people who legitimately want to learn this stuff, and you know, not everybody can do an internship in New York. You know what I mean? Right, Stony. So to me, yeah. I mean, dude, if that was around when I first got started,
man,
I'm 36 now. I'd probably
I'm blood, sweat, and tears in this thing.
Now here's the thing too, Ken. When you see a cat like Deadmau5 doing a master class for $90, bro, that makes you understand where this shit is going. You know, it's about doing your own thing, being in your most comfort level, and loving what you have already. You know, like everybody's not going to have a spaceship like you can. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all not blessed that way.
Spaceship. Look at this guy.
Look at this guy. You know what I'm saying? Look at this guy.
Guy's ridiculous. Look,
You
he's
know?
got the stupid mask.
Here we go.
Look at this guy. Same performance off screen and on screen, ladies and gentlemen.
So that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna I'll put the link in my Instagram. Everybody could just
hold on.
Get down with it.
Look, wait, Ken, do that again.
Don't be hating.
I'm sorry. This dude, there was a sound, and then his face showed up. Come on,
Your Ken is crazy,
bruh.
I'm just a big comic book nerd.
Good grief. Okay, so I want everybody to go out and my man Sam Botstein, actually he's on the show sometimes. He sometimes join the panel. He's actually in the chat room right now. He's also a mentor too.
Yeah. And Sam, and Sam is so sick with it. It's funny because here's the crazy thing: we all mentor each other too, right? So me and Sam were talking last week, and Sam was like, "Yo, Stone, I want to go get this new blah, blah, blah." And I was like, yo, Sam, could you imagine if cats came to your mentor page and you showing the SP1200?
Word. Come
like,
on.
who's doing that? And there are cats that want to know that stuff. And Sam is a beast.
And me and Sam don't live far from each other, so we about to hook up on that SP12 situation. As a matter of fact, we were just texting about it last night.
Right.
Word up.
And I swear, I wish I had my SP1200. I swear to you, I would totally show that to people. That shit, I love the SP12.
Did I ever tell? This is a good time. I'm gonna tell this quick little tale about, and I may have some of the details weird, but so back in the day, there was all kinds of different classics now, drum machines that I either had access to or had a homie that had one. And because, I started as an MC, so I was never concerned about beat making prior to like 2000, 2001 or whatever. I think I bought something 2002 or whatever, but I was never concerned with beat making before then. So I had homeboys who had 3000s or 60s, or I had a homeboy who had an SP12, and I used to just kind of stand around like we about to kill it, right? Years later, when I really started getting into making my own music and kind of moving on to my own thing, I hit my guy up. I hit one guy up and I was like, yo, didn't you used to have a S900? He was like, yeah, it's in the closet. So I said, I'll buy it from you. He was like, nah, I ain't with that. You know what I'll do? I'll send it to you. You can use it until I buy a house. So I can have it, right? So it's mine. I got that. So, but the SP12, I asked my man, like, yo, where's that SP12 you used to have? And he was like, man, you ain't gonna believe this. I left it in the trunk of the car, and the car sat so long that it got towed. And my brother, I think he said my brother told me, or something happened with the car getting towed, and the SP12 was in the trunk. And it was a car that nobody cared for or wanted. So nobody cared about what was in the thing. And he said he looked up about a year later, like, where's my SP12? And he was like, you know what? The last place it was in the trunk of that car. So
that's crazy.
If anybody out there got a story in Chicago where they got some car from the junkyard and there was a SP12 in it, I want that back. It does not belong to you.
Yo, that's crazy,
ain't it? Absolutely crazy. So that's kind of what I
now hold on. Now, was it the 12 or was it the 1200?
It was the 12. It was
the 12 with the big disc.
Yeah.
Where you gotta put the big disc in and listen to almost, was it Morse code?
Yeah,
like right.
So the thing about that though is that's why it kind of set around, because back in that time we didn't really know of a way to put a different disk drive on it or put something else. At least I didn't. And I think it wasn't a priority at that time because, at that time, cats was using MPC 2000s or the 2000 XL has just come out, and it was just kind of one of those things. I mean, we sound crazy now, like, what? You let the SP12 sit? But yeah, at that point, it was an old piece of gear that nobody was really fawning over, and the new stuff was pretty dope.
And And if I'm not correct, the SB12, you needed this thing called the SBK. God, who made it? It was an extra box called the SBK. SBK. And you had to come sync. Yeah, you had to come sync out of the 12 into this box. And out of that box, I think that box either generated Synth or I don't even think it was MIDI time code. It was Synth that generated
locking in, because Synth was pretty popular.
Locking in with the Synth, right? So I think you would stripe tape, align the tape, stripe tape, and then it would allow you to sync to this SB12. If I'm not correct, I think that's the way they used to like lock it in with production or whatever.
That's wild.
Yeah, but the SBK cost a grip.
Did it?
You know, that cost a grip, and then the 12 cost a grip. So I guess the 1200 was when I think MIDI was implemented, if I'm not correct. I think MIDI was implemented in it, and then I guess.
But I had another homie who was a DJ.
I got my hand on the 1200.
I had another homie who was a DJ. He had one of the reissued black SP1200s. Where it was
crazy.
Black. Remember those? They came out. I don't know. It was.
Now,
like
did it have the yellow screen or the blue screen?
I can't even remember. Something tells me it was the blue screen, but I remember being over his crib a couple times, and that's when I realized I hate those buttons, because I was so used to MPCs, and Machine and stuff wasn't out at that point. But I remember touching those buttons, and I was like, "That's hard, man. I don't." But he was like, "This ain't for banging on. I mean, you just program and move on."
That piece had a special sound, because I mean, those records. I mean, who did not want to like Pete Rock? Oh my God, Easy Mobile. I
still have a firm belief that
kidding me?
What you kind of come up on and what you kind of come up listening to is really one of the things that lends itself nostalgia wise to you gravitating towards certain sounds, because I can remember like I've talked to some younger heads that still like swear they love like the sound of old FL Studio beats, and I'm like, oh, really?
That's right.
But you know, and to me, it's like I love the sound.
Like you just got gut punched. Like, oh,
yeah. I love the sound of both older samplers and some of the more quote unquote clean ones, like the MPC 2000 XL. Like I love the sound of that thing. The ASR X, I love the sound of that thing.
I wish I had one of those.
Oh God, I've had so many over the years. It's like every about 2 years I get another one, and then I keep it for like a year.
Another
or two,
which one?
And then I sell it. ASR X.
Okay.
I wish. I mean, my dream sampler is. My dream sampler is like the ASR 10.
I just sold an ASR 10 like 5 months ago.
You should have sold it to me, man.
Yeah,
I remember talking about you had it all refurbished, and then the guy you sold it to, like, didn't know a damn thing about it.
No, he didn't know how to use it.
That it wouldn't boot up, and didn't realize you needed a disc.
Yeah, I had to give him a few pointers and send him the manual, but then I had to be careful, because I felt like every day he was hitting me up like, this thing don't work. It turn on and it don't do nothing. I said, it's old, man. You got to put the disc in and then turn it on. It boots up.
I've always wanted an ASR 10, and the other piece I still want is the MV 8800. I think
I still want one of those too.
I want one of those so bad, bro.
Rod one so that it ran faster. Like put like a flash drive in it, and like just like find a way to overclock it so that it ran faster. Like, because that is such a cool machine. It's just slow. Right?
It truly is. Like that, see, so that's the thing. That's the thing. And Sam got a lot of patience, man. I'm gonna say that Sam got a lot of patience, and I'll tell you why. Because Sam got every old sampler known to man. If he don't, he got pretty damn close to every old sampler known to man. Now I have an MPC 62. I love the sound, and it's not that tough to navigate. It's not really. You can get used to it. You know what I mean? I use it to, part of sound design. I sample drums into it and kind of wet it up with that flavor, that MPC 60 flavor. But the thing is, I don't like making beats in it. It's because it's just the workflow is kind of archaic. And I know some people be like, no, that's a sin to say something like that. But when you get used to messing with newer machines, like I have to minimize my time on the older machines just because it's going to take so much more time to do things. Now, mind you, if that was my core machine, I'd probably be speeding around on it. It wouldn't be too much of a deal. Just like, you know, some people say with the Ren, like I could speed around on the Ren, and other people are like, I don't even know why you want to put up with that. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna be honest with you. My transition from the 4K to machine was brutal. Like St. Joe will tell you the story. When they handed me that machine, the Mark One, from the 4000, going from the MPC 4000 to the machine Mark One, I was just like, what? Y'all trying to be funny? Like, what is this?
What I'm supposed to do? And with the MK1 too, it wasn't nearly where it is now.
Well, when it was
bro, I went through some serious.
When it was in,
I went through some serious withdrawal.
Like all the way up to 1.2 was where they added the ability to truncate samples, which was like.
See, yo, Ken is like, I came in
machine sampler that couldn't truncate, and I was like,
that's what I'm saying.
I was emailing them every day, like, what the hell are you doing?
But Ken, I was lucky. I came in like 1.8.
I came on board
6.
I came on board at 1.0, and
oh my god,
yeah, I was.
Yeah, you didn't even have VSTs then, right?
No, that came at 1.6. 1.6, 1.6.2. Yeah.
What was the version? I remember a lot of yapping around the internet when Machine got all these different things where you can there was a certain version where you could open up all the MPC programs and projects.
Yeah, well that was
that
1 point. I want to say it was like 1.4 was when they started allowing import, but it didn't all work. Like
I'm glad I didn't jump ship.
I think Machine actually started its real rise at 1.8.
Now 1.6 was major because once they started allowing VSTs, that was like
it was a wrap.
Yeah, it was like nothing else was doing anything like that at that time. You know what I mean? There's no drum machine that could do that at that time. And that was kind of like where everybody got excited. And then it went on for a while up to 1.8.2 was the last one that they did before they moved over to 2.0. And it was, you know, but the problem was that there was a lot of things going on. And to me, it's
speak
still
your mind, kid.
Go
ahead.
You know he going to. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into it. But
don't get them started, y'all. Don't get them started.
I'll just say this. I'm still really excited about the fact that, like, in this day and age, I still want to see, like, a proper centerpiece hardware sequencer. You know what I mean? Like, that can be, like, a hardware sequencer that you don't need a computer for, that can sequence your entire studio and sequence your computer, your VSTs, everything. You know what I mean? I want something that is like, and I'm talking like sort of like a Circlon, but at a much more reasonable price point, and it doesn't have a 900-year waiting list. You know what I mean?
Bro, what is that? But what does that look like, Ken? Like, you know,
well, have you ever seen a Circlon?
A who?
A Circlon? Circlon is
send me the
like,
link.
It's a pretty dope. I'll see if I can pull a picture of one up, but it's a pretty dope hardware. I want something that goes even further than that personally. But
okay, so this is kind of the basis of what you're talking about.
Now it's not going to look. It doesn't look super inspiring, but its workflow is dope. So let me.
Yeah, I don't care what it looks like as long as it does what it needs to do.
Let me share my screen here. Make sure I'm not sharing anything I'm not allowed to share. Hold on. I'm in the middle of downloading some super secret cool stuff. Where is this thing at? How do I pull this up?
Here, I got it on my screen. I'll share it.
All right, you share it.
Yeah, let's see.
So the Circlon, and you can get it in configurations that'll handle like modular gear. You can get it in configurations that'll handle MIDI, all kinds of different stuff. But basically, it's like a step sequencer, but it'll do so much more than just step sequencing. Like it's a really full-featured sequencer. But really, there's nothing out by any company right now that really does full studio sequencing, full studio end stage sequencing. Right. As the centerpiece, and is actually readily available out there. You know what I mean? And isn't archaic. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So that's like I see such.
See, because that's the thing. The MPC 60 can handle being the centerpiece. Like,
and that's the closest that I can think of is having like
I mean,
a
I think the
hardware MPC
4000
for it. But even
4000
that is
close.
like, but even a hardware MPC isn't like. You're not going to see like indie bands or something like that using that type of gear for that. I'm talking about something that's not just like pigeonholed into certain genres or whatever. I'm talking about something that's a little bit more widely accessible. And I'm not talking about like MPCX or Live or any of that kind of stuff. I'm talking about something that, you know, realistically you would want it to be like rack mountable, something that
really.
Yeah, because what like really all it's doing
I'm not mad at the rack mountable. I like the idea of the rack. I really do.
You know, you could have it as a desktop, but you know, I would want it to be able to have rack ears too, you know, because really like in the studio, I might have it as a desktop piece, but I'm not necessarily programming the things onto it. I'm using it to record the data that I'm sequencing, you know what I mean? So like if I'm playing my Moog or I'm playing my Matrix Brute or I'm playing my Drum Brute, whatever, I want it to record that data and play it back properly. You know what I mean? I just want to be able to sequence all my gear, you know?
So
yeah, in one central place.
Exactly.
Right. I agree.
And flexible editing of that too, you know?
No, totally.
What about the Kilpatrick Audio Carbon?
You know, I looked at that. That thing is.
Can you send me a link to that, Corey?
Doesn't that thing use the life algorithm? I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know. I'm hoping that they said they were going to send me one to check out at some point. I'm hoping I'll get a chance to check it out so I can really know.
There's a PCI card. This is crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to show.
Why are they wasting their time on you, Corey?
Huh?
Don't be hating
on their time on me.
Don't be hating on Corey.
Oh, Ken. He said,
you know, Ken be hating, right? You know that, right?
No doubt, of course. Oh, we got a new thing though in the crew though. It's called Hatulation. Is that what it is? Hatulation, where it's congratulations and hating at the same time.
So this is dope.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Now, is this just what? Now, Ken, is this just for patterns, or
I think it? So I messed with it a little bit. They had it at KnobCon, and
oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, I believe it does the algorithms, the life algorithm stuff, and it does.
It's got 4 CV outs, the 4 gates. It has the USB host. So are you going to be able to host your mods, like your MIDI mods with this thing? You can like hook that up.
Yeah, I mean, because they're originally were a modular company. Well, they still make modular units, but this is something that they've gotten into where I guess the idea was that there was no thing like this out there that they could kind of use as the centerpiece to sequence all of their stuff. And there's even some videos on here where he's showing like, yo, I have a synth over here, the phenol, a modular, and a controller with the computer, and he's using that joint to sequence everything.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
And the cool thing about this is you can use this with your modular system and any MIDI, like any or USB. This is dope.
Or USB. Yep. So it's
got
USB.
The
gates.
Yeah.
Got the,
and it's got both the USBs. This is crazy.
It's got USB where you can connect it to a DAW and all of that. It's really the flagship type of deal. And it looks good.
This is so basic also. This is like basic things that should be in everything right now.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right? Like, why doesn't everything have all of these connectors? It's ridiculous. I guess, but still. This is dope.
Yeah, this is dope. So somebody was saying, what social entropy engine? What's that, Sam? I wish Sam was on here so he could tell us what that is. Social entropy engine.
Yo, Sam, jump on, man. Where's Sam? I know he's around.
Well, Sam is in the chat.
Jump in the chat.
We don't want to be seen today.
Yeah, Sam doesn't like us enough.
So yo, I'm gonna
come on, Sam.
Let me do this one thing. I want to do a couple things before we get too far gone here. 2 things I want to do. I want to announce that I'm going to be doing like a Beat People giveaway. And then I want to go through some of y'all thoughts of what the top gear is for last year. So let me pull this giveaway up. And you'll have to go to my Instagram page.
So Corey, can I just cheat and like win? Can you just like hook me up?
No. You always winning.
You can cheat.
It don't matter.
I gotta win. I ain't got no choice, bro.
That's what's
I
up.
gotta win. We all gotta win.
I want you to win. So here,
you already know.
Here's the deal. This is so my man Steve from Synth, he's starting a new thing, and he has let's see, where is it? Freakform. So he's starting a new thing. It's called freakform.com, and you can see on the screen here is Take It Easel, premium samples from the Buchla music easel, right? So what he did is he got this. I mean, how much are Buchla music easels nowadays? I can't afford those. So how much are those running, Ken? Like they go from like 4,000 to your mama's house.
The newer ones you can get for less, but like they're like
3,500, 3,000 or so.
$300 or something like that at least, but still they're ridiculously pricey. And on top of that, then you still got to learn how to use it, which Buchla kind of works like nothing else. So
right. So
I've seen guys that are really studio vets get on Buchla and just look like kids who are smacking their head into a wall.
Yeah. And so the thing is, for those that don't know, Buchla is one of the pioneers of synthesis. And, you know, there's the West Coast thing and there's the East Coast thing. And you're talking about East Coast synthesis, it's Bob Moog, Dr. Moog, or however you want to say it. And then if you're talking about West Coast synthesis, you're really talking about Buchla. And there's a whole history that goes along with that. If you want to get you want to know more about that, I would say get the DVD, I Dream of Wires, because, you know, there's just so much information. It's really fascinating history with all that stuff if you want to get into synthesis. But for those of us that just want cool sounds from the synth, my man Steve from freakform.com and synthrotech.com has got together with some cats, and they got their Buchla easel, and they made a whole bunch of samples from the Buchla easel that range from kicks to snares to, I don't know, special effects and stuff. And I did a beat for the demo of it. It's up on the Freakform page, and there was a few people that did a few things. But actually, I don't think I was expecting what I heard. It's a really rich, nice sounding kit. I don't know how many of these things are there, but so here's the thing. Here's what we're doing. There's going to be a giveaway. It's going to be 2 giveaways. I'm going to be giving away one of these kits, these sample kits, and you check my Instagram page and Synthrotech's Instagram page. It'll be a matter of when I post this Take It Easel thing up, then it'll be a matter of
everybody knows your Instagram page.
Yeah, the Instagram page is B-Boy Tech Report, and also follow BeatPPL's Instagram page. But the contest is going to run on B-Boy Tech Report. When I post this up, all you have to do is repost it and follow us, B-Boy Tech Report and Synth, and then after about a week or so of people doing that, we're going to choose the winner and give them that for free. In addition to that, I'm going to be doing another giveaway with Synthrotech for his latest module, the Synthrotech Octave Fuzz. Do I have it? No,
oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so this...
We can't see your... oh, okay, never mind.
Oh, here you go.
Never mind, I see it.
Yeah, so it's the Synthrotech Octave Fuzz. The Octave Fuzz, I'll just read it here. It's our take on the classic 70s Super Fuzz circuit made into a Eurorack module. We've also improved on some aspects of the original as well, including increased output. So I have this in my rack right now, and I'll be doing a couple videos up on Instagram to show you what it's like. But I mean, it does add some real ill tone to like anything, whether it's a synth, bass line, or drums and stuff. So we're going to be doing a giveaway for that, and it'll be the same way. I'll post it up and say, yo, follow Synthrotech, follow B-Boy Tech Report, and repost this thing, and then you know, with whatever hashtag it is, and then, you know, in a week or so, we'll announce the winner and I'll send it out to you. So that is the house cleaning stuff. That's our latest giveaway. So I'm gonna run one this week and one the following week.
Do they have to repost it on Instagram, or what if they tweet it and stuff like that? Is that...
Yeah, it can be tweeted. I mean, any social media, but the thing is, we have to be able to find it, right? So it's going to be a matter of the hashtags. Whatever we post, just repost what we've posted, so that the hashtag is there so we can actually find it. I don't have a problem looking on. I'll probably take a tally of what's on Facebook, what's on Twitter, and what's on Instagram under those hashtags, and we'll randomly pick a winner from there. So so yeah, it's gonna be up actually later today, definitely this weekend, and then we all can just kind of tell people to share it and post it, and we'll see what's what from there.
Dope.
So 2 giveaways, just to remind you, that's the Take It Easel sample pack from Freakform and the Synth Octave Fuzz. So that's going to be dope. Definitely. I mean, and that's $125 module, and then the sample kit is $30. So, it's pretty dope. Who knows if the same person will win, but we'll try not to do that. Give everybody a chance to get something dope. So, all right, now I'm going to toss it over to, let's just talk about this. Ken, what do you think some of or any of y'all, what do you think some of the top stuff, top gear from 2016, now that we're in the first week?
What's not fair is that a lot of the top gear that was announced
didn't come out for the end.
Didn't come out until like the very first of 2017.
That's right.
So like the Matrix Brute, DeepMind 12, all that stuff. Technically, I guess you gotta kind of say 2017, even though it was talked about so much and kind of just on the cusp of 2016. Like we all got our stuff in 2016. But
that's it. See, that's the thing, Ken. Like, so that's what I have to realize. I'm like, wait, that ain't really 2016, because there's a couple things me and you've had.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? A few things that are like really
that had
popular.
me crazy excited. It came out in 2017, or is still coming out in 2017, but was all the rage for 2016 for like the vast majority of it. But I'm trying to think
the mini log, so the mini log can be one though. Mini log, because that was I got the mini log just before NAMM.
Before NAMM,
so it was in January. At least it didn't ship until January.
Which I still love that thing. I think that thing was awesome. There's heated debate as to how much character it has, but to me, I really like that thing. I think it's super fun. I bought mine for dirt cheap and sold it for a song, so I probably will get another one. Well, they were having manufacturing, so the price of them went up like crazy high, and I was like, well, I'm kind of busy doing other stuff. I'll sell it. So I made like a $200 some odd profit off of that thing.
And I followed
after having it for like 3 or 4 months.
Right. Because I loved it. And then when I saw, opportunists, this is a capitalist society, bro. Beat people's going to capitalize on things when we can too.
Exactly.
So the thing is, they was having
modules in my rack and that kind of thing. But I'll say that I probably will want to get another one. But I'm kind of waiting, because when I talked to Korg, at NAMM last year when they announced it, they kind of didn't hold their tongue when they were like, this, we're working on bigger things with this. So I still fully expect to see possibly at this NAMM a larger flagship analog from them. So I'm kind of
you think you're gonna see a Maxi Brute? I know people don't like it when I say that name.
What now?
A Maxi Brute. Oh, excuse me, a Maxi Log.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think they already did that. It's called the Matrix. That's
true. That's true.
So, no, I would say I think that they're gonna do something like that, and I expect it to be really something worth taking a hard look at, because with the mono log, which is also a product that just came out this year, they addressed some of the filter things that people kind of had quibbles about, like they put some Q normalization on there and kind of beefed it up a little bit. So I think with a larger poly synth of that would be something that I'd be very interested in, because I really liked the sound of it. I liked how it operated. I liked how the knobs felt. Everything on that thing, I actually really enjoyed it. And even like the little oscilloscope on it, I think that it was just a cool.
Yeah, I think that's real dope.
It's
There's
just
a few
cool
dope
synth,
things,
man. And for the money, like, how could you be mad at it?
Yeah. What I like is the different modes.
Look, I'm gonna throw the System 8 out there. I know
System 8.
The System 8 actually made it in 2016. It was announced and actually came out in 2016.
True.
Plus, like, I went to Guitar Center and I lost track of time and was off in there for about an hour and a half just messing with the System 8. And I walked out thinking to myself, you know what? I should have bought it.
You know,
I
the
should
thing
have
with the
walked out of
System 8
Guitar Center
is
with the thing.
I'm really interested in it, and I played it at KnobCon, and I think it sounds great. It's really playable. It's really fun to be on, but a couple of things concern me about it, and that is I really don't like Roland's current model of nickel and diming their customer with the plug outs. Like, if I'm gonna buy like a $1,400 synth from you, give me those plug outs, either, if not for free, for dirt cheap. Give them to me for like $50. You know what I mean? Like, make it, you know, the way that they did the System 1, and they had you pay to get the System 1 VST. Like, what? Like, that kind of stuff didn't make any sense to me at all. So
Yeah, like
they're following the Apple paradigm, though.
I don't care what paradigm you're following. It irks the hell out of me. Like, you know, if I'm
Like,
buying
at
your
least
flagship synthesizer, that stuff, and you know, at the same time, I'm like, I look at the older synths, like the Tritons and stuff like that, and we used to have to buy cards that would go into them, and it's not that dissimilar from that. And I get that you got to pay for that development, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, this is your flagship, and you're trying to promote your brand as being, you know, for the customer, and you're trying to, you know, compete with all these other like flagship analogs and this and that. It's like, dude, you should provide that stuff. It should come with a whole host of those plug outs. Not just
man,
like
do
2
you
or
remember
3.
the price of the cards that came for the Phantom, that after the Phantom workstations came out? They was busting your head still for those cards. So
yeah, but look, what year was that?
Change though.
What year was that though, dog?
I do understand the year, but it's their model. They're not gonna change their model.
They need to change that up. It's 2017.
And that's
what the thing is, though.
I
they don't
understand
have
you gotta pay for development. I get that, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, there's goodwill towards your customer goes a long ways.
It's true.
Well, they figure their goodwill is actually giving you 2 plug outs for that $14.99.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just saying.
Well, listen, let me just tell you, I've played the System 8. The System 8 is real dope. I'm actually very surprised at how good it sounds. I don't even feel like it should sound that good. Like, I mean, it sounds so much better than I anticipated. And the thing is, though, I don't know, man. $1,500. That.
But here's the thing, man. Look. Here's the thing. So, yeah, it comes with a couple of plug outs, and some people were on the fence of saying, "Oh, but at least it comes with the Jupiter 8 and the 106." And some people were on the fence of saying, you know, but it doesn't come with that much. Here's the thing, right? Yes, the technology for modeling these synthesizers is way better than it's ever been, right? They're using like FPGA chips, and like, you know, it's this really rich, complete modeling, blah, blah, blah. 10 years from now, that modeling is going to be even better. And they're going to have another product that does the same damn thing. This is the JP8000, but redone with newer technology, right? So here's the thing. To me, it's like, okay, if that's the case, I could have bought a Phantom like a while ago, and it had multiple synthesizers inside of it. You know what I mean? You could get, you know, the Oasis with multiple synthesizers. You could get, you know, the Triton with multiple synthesizers. Yes, the technology is better now, so there's limited voices, but the sound of it is a lot better. But it's like, to me, at the same time, you're still doing the same thing, so give me more. You know what I mean? Like, don't give me less just because it sounds
you know,
better.
from a business perspective, right? What's their motivation to do that? Like, their motivation is like, let's
they lost
create
buying more
streams.
plug outs. From a business perspective,
That's you though. You're the anomaly.
One, because they wouldn't give us the System 1 VST for free, even though we had already spent like $600 on the hardware.
But that ain't the norm.
So I was like, you know what? Then I'm not doing that.
What happens is everybody goes out and buys that stuff. Quite frankly, it's just point blank. And that's almost the reason why I haven't bought like System 1M or I kind of steer clear from the System 8 because I know that if I have it, I'm gonna buy the add-on piece. When they announce that new classics, that old classic synth is now available as a plug out, I'm gonna cop it. I don't really want to do that, but that's the anomaly.
Plug out synths for it. Like I bought one and then I stopped when I saw that they gave no goodwill towards their customers when they came out with the System 1 VST. The people who had the hardware should have already gotten that VST for free, and I just felt it was wrong. So I said, you know what? I'm just not going to support. I'm not going to spend any more money on that System 1. Like I love the System 1. I really do, but I'm not going to support that kind of mentality.
Yeah, but I think, you know what, also, Ken, I think that a lot of the companies feel like, you know, these pieces are for big boys, right? So you're buying the pieces. Here's the flip of it. It's supposed to make you money back. Like it's supposed to pay for itself. Yes. You know what I mean? Like don't even play that game of.
But if you're paying,
I know, I agree with you, Ken.
And it already is supposed to have that stuff. It's like, well, come on now.
No, I got what you're saying, Ken. But at the same time, I think a lot of cats buy these pieces and they're expensive pieces. It's supposed to pay itself off. You know, that's the whole idea. Like,
absolutely.
You would think so, but you know, a lot of people are not really making money with their music, or you know, honestly, I could tell you, there's a lot of people that are really. Some people don't even aspire to try to make money with their music. They just kind of want, they're lovers of this. Those are hobbyists and stuff, right? But they buy just as much stuff as the pro cats.
Yeah, but to me,
I was just kind of speaking from the business, you know, company perspective.
And I get that, but the bottom line was that they were already making that money. Like they already had it there. And it's not that I wouldn't pay for plug outs. I did pay for a plug out. I bought the Pro Mars plug out for it. But the fact that you're making somebody pay for something twice that they already had, that they had already paid for once. Like, so when you buy the Pro Mars plug out, you get the Pro Mars plug out for the hardware and you get the VST. But when I bought the System 1 itself, they didn't give me the VST. They only gave it for the hardware.
That's point blank.
To me, that was an issue. It's like, well, why am I paying more for this when I already bought it, when, you know, it should be coming with the other stuff? And it was already like $100 for the plug outs, which, you know.
Right.
So, I mean, and it's fine for people to disagree with that. I'm totally cool with that. It's just, to me, what I'm saying about the System 8 is the System 8 looks really great and it sounds really great. And I may want it and I may end up getting it. Who knows? But I don't want to be an early adopter to it. You know what I mean? I want to hang back a little on it and see how it develops.
Right.
So, hey, you mentioned something, Ken, about that made me want to show something to the people who's watching and show it to you guys. You mentioned about this guy, Tatsuya. And he was talking about, well, you were saying how he was talking about some of the things that got fixed for the monologue. And so one of the things I have going on that's cool, people might want to check out, is I'm running this series of like 4 to 5 question interviews for companies like UAD, this guy Gary Boss from Audio Technica, and Tatsuya from Korg. And I basically asked questions of them of their products because they're all nominated for the NAMM Tech Awards. The next one is Monday. It's going to be Dave Smith talking about the OB6. So,
oh shit.
Yeah. So on this actual interview with Tatsuya, he actually mentioned, well, I asked him about the clicking envelopes and, you know, what they did about it. And he said, yeah, that was an enormous amount of confusion regarding clicking envelopes. One, they fixed these things: fast attack time, EG reset when voice is still in, and actual clicks at the start of the envelope generator. So all of those things were fixed. 1 and 2. Well, you can read it, right? So, but I just want to let people know this is some pretty good information up on B-Boy Tech Report about those things. And I'm running this series of these NAMM Tech Awards interviews leading up to NAMM, and there's been 3 of them so far. On the last episode, we talked about the Harrison Mix Bus, and so I got a chance to talk to Ben Loftus, who runs that whole company up there. Harrison, I don't know if he runs the whole company. I don't know his title, but he's the man over there. And Harrison Console. So he talks about the Harrison Mix Bus there a little more in detail. So check out bboytechreport.com when you get a chance, and keep up on those news items and stuff. So let's welcome my man Sam. Sam, what's up, man?
Sam, So
Sam,
Sam,
you about an hour and a half late.
decided to come back in.
Sorry, I couldn't hop on before this, but I wanted to thank Stony for doing such a great job talking about the Pyramind stuff. I also wanted to mention that if you're considering maybe studying with Stony, definitely check out her interview on Pyramind's YouTube page.
Oh, thanks, Sam.
Yeah, for sure.
I still say he looks like Wolfman.
It looks like
Well, hold on. Let's be clear. Sam has an amazing interview too. You got to check Sam out. His interview's
Sam,
crazy.
Sam, you're a mentor on there as well.
Yes, yeah.
What's your expertise on there?
You know, currently I'm offering people, people have come to me and they've wanted to learn more about like modular synthesis, or, they've been really considering getting some old beat machine and using that to make all their music. So I've gotten a couple different people who have sort of come interested in doing like a weekly or regular sort of meeting, quite like you're studying a musical instrument, growing up, like if you took piano lessons or something like that. And that's, I think, really powerful. It's a really interesting opportunity. If you go to pyramind.com/mentorship, you can see some of the featured mentors. And if you click around, you can actually see all the different things that you can sign up to get mentorship around, or all the different people that you can get mentorship from. And it's a really, really interesting project. I really hope that people take advantage of it, because I know personally that I was able to really, really benefit from these kinds of like one-on-one recurring situations that I treated, like I said, quite like taking weekly music instrument lessons. That really propelled me forward and helped me out. So I hope people will take advantage of it, because I think it's a really, really interesting opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's dope, man. I'll definitely be pubbing it. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I know I talk to you guys regularly, but what I'd like to do is I want to set up like short interviews with some of the mentors over there, including you guys, the two of you, then like put it on B-Boy Tech Report and, just kind of shed a little more light on what you guys are doing. I think it's dope.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll holler at you all about that. But yo, so Sam, you're on here and we're about to close out, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really couldn't hop on.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I'm always happy to have you no matter what, man. It's good to see you. So, hey, it's 12:43. We're about an hour, 40 minutes in. So I'm gonna go ahead and round up. If anybody got anything they want to tell the people about before we get out of here.
You need to let Willie promote something, because he just sits there quiet and it worries me.
It worries you. It worries you. Willie, what you got, man?
Hey, I got that new Blue Synergy coming out. I don't have a screenshot of it, but like I said, it's going to be a bunch of pads and strings and atmospheric things for just anybody that sprinkle on to their production. So it should be out in the next month or so, depending on how much time I actually get to work on it.
Word. That's dope. I'm looking forward to that myself. Yeah, make sure when you hey Willie, do you do demos of your synths when they come out?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't do them. I actually have everybody else do them. I don't have time to sit there and do a lot of demos. So.
It's all good.
But yeah, I'll be passing them around to see who I can get a demo out of. So
Word. Okay, and Stony, what you got?
Oh man, yeah. So next week I'm launching. I'm gonna make an announcement, and I'm looking forward to the next phase of the mentorship program. Again, like I said, we're gonna start rolling out. I plan on setting up a workshop, so it'll be more than just a one-on-one. It'll be 10 to 15 people in a room with me.
Nice.
And hopefully, we'll have that available to people that can probably, get access to it through the Puremind site. At the end, we'll figure out what we're going to do, but it's going to be, I'm looking forward to sharing that with everybody. Again, it's 2017. I plan on, dropping my project that's been long awaiting, and just putting tons of music out. And the other thing I also want to mention is, people who are watching this, if you know dope artists, man, tell them to holler at me. I get a lot of producers that reach out to me, but I'm definitely looking for that artist that I can do like the Missy Timbaland thing. You know what I'm saying? Like where I can like do an entire album on an artist, but I haven't met that artist yet, So if they're
That's
out
an
there, I never
interesting
put it
point,
out
Stony.
there. I never put it out there publicly. So now I'm saying, look, I got tons of music and I'm going to release my own project with instrumentals and, and tracks and stuff. But I definitely want to do a full album on an artist.
Word.
So yeah, and follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitter and YouTube. And again, like next week, I'm going to make the announcement and I'll have a platform where everybody can interact with me. And again, it's Stony's music all across, STONI *S music, not Stonis, but Stony's music, and yeah, please.
Word.
Come check it out.
We always got your back, Stony. I'm looking forward to 2017 and what you're dropping.
Man, and with you too, man. I look forward to, winning some of these Beat People contests. And
sitting on the panel talking about winning the contest.
Come on, Core. Hook it up.
Sam, what you got, man?
Hey, thanks for letting me jump on to talk more about the Puremind thing. Definitely check out our pages. We're also both on the Stony and I on the Puremind YouTube channel as well. I really think this is something that people can benefit from. And I wanted to ask Flux and Corey, are you guys anticipating doing a bunch of NAMM coverage before the next show?
So
yeah.
Let me just touch on this before Corey goes in too deep. So I'm not going to NAMM this year. I'm
what?
Yeah, I'm moving, and so we've been working on getting this house ready, and money's tight because of that, and time.
Well,
is tight.
brothers be so selfish. Moving in houses and doing stuff for the family. This is damn time.
Apparently, I have to worry about my family and my kids and whatnot. So
don't feel bad, kid. I'm not going to NAMM.
With that caveat, I will say this: I do have some special NAMM coverage that will be. I sent a guy to NAMM, a good friend of mine. I sent him to NAMM under the Flux With It banner, so he's going to get some stuff for me. And then on top of that, I'm also going to have some special coverage that isn't really that other people won't have. I got some exclusive content that I'm going to distribute while NAMM is happening. So. I do have some things happening with that, so it should be pretty cool. I just have to. I want to say another thing real quick. Also, there's an event coming up if you're in Pittsburgh area. I'm going to be heading out to Pittsburgh March 18th. There is an event called Oscillate Pittsburgh, and it's like a synthesizer festival type thing that happens in Pittsburgh. So I'll be out there for that as well. But yeah. So I'll be stuck in Delaware while all my friends are having fun at NAMM this year,
and
which
eating Roscoe's.
Depresses me greatly.
That's what we'll be doing.
Let me just say this. Hey, Corey.
Yeah.
Roscoe's won't be the same without me and Ken. You know that, right?
Yeah,
so true.
But I'll be.
It's just not the same.
I'll think of you guys. I'll take a picture, Instagram it or something.
I'm just upset that I can't get Korean karaoke spot, man. That's my jam.
So yeah, what we should do. Let me just remind everybody that the Beat People podcast has only been around for a year now. Just leading up to NAMM, I think it was the week before NAMM last year was the first Beat People podcast. So what I'd like to do, if all y'all want to come back outside of the monthly schedule, come back and do with our anticipated things and stuff that we can talk about, because I know some of us can't talk about some things, right? We could kind of talk about what we expect from NAMM and just have like the inaugural NAMM show type of Beat People podcast, if y'all want to do that just before. But we'll talk about it in text and all that. So yeah, we're going to sign off. But before we do, I want to tell everybody, jump on to beatpeople.com. That's BeatPPL.com and patronize the site. Cop some sample packs. I got a couple new sample packs up here. There's Inebriated Breaks Volume 2. And I think I have, the Big Room Theory Breaks Season 2. And Swamp Breaks has been doing pretty well. A lot of people tend to like that. And that one of the newest things that I really like is like all of these joints, but Checkmate Breaks. My man Mike Checkmate did a great job on these breaks, and he sent them over, and I did a little something else to them, and it came out to be a great pack. And you know, go to the site, check out the video. It's also on my YouTube channel, and listen. You can kind of go behind the scenes and let him tell you about how he created these breaks. And beyond that,
can I ask you something really quick, Corey?
Yeah.
Those dope beats that you're posting up on Instagram, are they from these packs?
Yeah, like all of them.
Pretty awesome,
Pretty much, like all the beats that I make up. You know, there's been a few times where I've used MSX, but 90% of the stuff that I put on Instagram are from this variety of packs. Analog boom bap. If you hear any breaks chopped up in there, it's most likely inebriated breaks, volume 1 and 2. And I got a couple more volumes of those too. I'll kind of divulge here's what my plan is for 2017. The plan is to drop a product a month and do a demonstration video, because I think that's part of the thing. People don't know, how do you use this, right? So then I'm gonna show people how to chop up breaks and do different things like that. So
nice.
Yeah, this is pretty much all from there. And starting maybe later this month, I think this one, Sprinkles and Lasers, will be available up on machinemasters.com, and we'll probably have some more coming from stuff that I offer on there too. So yeah, so that's what's up. Let's do 2017, y'all.
Hey,
thanks for joining the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Corey.
Yeah.
One last thing. As of right now, there is a code. If you go on to shop.fluxwithit.com and you type in BeatPPL, BeatPPL, or PPL, all caps. It's BeatPPL, all caps. You get 20% off at any order there. So just want to let people know about that as well. So little bit of Beat People support on the Flux With It site too.
That's what's up. Yeah. Support the movement, man, so we can continue doing dope stuff and bringing dope content. This is all about community. So on that note, we're gonna sign off. This is Beat People. It's all about squad and community. Beat people. We don't beat people. We are beat people. Peace.